We're rounding up 6 Easter eggs you may have missed in It, or as we are calling them, Itster eggs. Spooky movie season got off to a killer start this weekend with the highly anticipated big screen adaptation of It devouring all kinds of box office records. With a staggering $123 million haul, It now stands as the most successful horror opening of all time, the most successful September opening of all time, and the second most successful Stephen King film ever. And hey, watch your back, The Green Mile, because we're pretty sure Pennywise is going to be coming for your #1 spot before the week is over. Now, one of the reasons It struck such a chord is because, amongst other things, It was a giant love letter to horror fans, especially if you were the kind of horror fan who used your parents' credit card to sign up for the Stephen King book club back in the early 90s.
It's back. It's more frightening than before.
I didn't even know that existed. It is chock full of some awesomely scary Easter eggs, and if you're like us, you may have missed a few while covering your face with your fingers upon first viewing, or maybe even second or third. But don't worry, we've got you covered harder than a New Kids on the Block poster on your bedroom door. We're gonna break down all the best Itster eggs, starting with number 1. Turtle power! As you may have noticed, turtles showed up a few times in the film. Once when one brushes by Ben's foot in the swimming scene, and again when Bill picks up his missing brother's Lego set. But even though It took place in the late 80s, this wasn't a reference to Leo, Raph, Don, and Mikey. It's actually a shout out to another hero in a half shell, Maturin. If you've read It, then you know that one of its weirdest elements is the presence of a benevolent cosmic space turtle named Maturin. The ancient reptile actually has a much bigger place in the Stephen King multiverse, including acting as one of the guardians of the Dark Tower. In the novel It, we mainly see Maturin viewing the adventures of the Losers Club from afar, but he does eventually involve himself in the proceedings, reaching out to Bill and guiding him through the ritual of Chud. And you know what? If this all sounds insane, well, remember that It was written at the height of Stephen King's 80s experience. For the most part, it's probably a good thing that Maturin was removed from the movie, but it's nice that he at least got some recognition through these little shoutouts, maybe even suggesting that he's out there, somewhere, affecting the kids on a subconscious psychic level. Weird for sure, but pretty much par for the course with 80s Stephen King. In at number 2, while we're talking about the weirder elements of It, let's talk about those 3 strange lights that we saw at the back of Pennywise's mouth when he started doing his Gina Davis from Beetlejuice impression. Now those are called the deadlights, and it's actually the closest we ever get to seeing its true form. In the book, we learn that, just like Maturin, it is an ancient being who predates our universe, and that while the creature may sometimes take physical forms like Pennywise, its true form exists beyond the physical in a realm called the deadlights. And those 3 glowing lights are the closest the human mind can come to comprehending them. Once again, these also have a tie to the bigger King multiverse, as we see them turn up in the Dark Tower a few times, but as with Maturin, it seems like the filmmakers decided to lightly hint at them instead of making them a giant part of the plot. But it will be interesting to see if, with Chapter 1's success, Chapter 2 will be a little more willing to explore some of the more esoteric bit of the book's mythology. Moving on to number 3, there are quite a few references to other elements of the Stephen King horrorverse, and it doesn't end with the super turtle or the magical lights that like to snack on kids' fear. We also get a shout out to the original Pennywise, as played by Tim Curry, when Richie is trapped in that room full of clowns in the Neibolt house. It's cool to see a quick cameo from the founding member of the insane clown horror posse, but does that mean that Tim Curry's Pennywise has just been chillin' in the house since his reign of terror in the 50s, imparting wisdom to the new Pennywise? Number 4, out of all of the 80s graphic tees we caught in the film, Eddie's evil car shirt was a standout. Now that's because all the other tees either referenced real or in-world historical points, like the Freese's tee referencing a store that existed in Stephen King's hometown, or the Tracker Brothers tee being a foreshadow of the factory where adult Eddie re-meets Pennywise in the 2nd chapter, or they were outright references to things that were popular in the 80s, like the Anthrax tee. But Eddie's toothy car t-shirt makes reference to another of Stephen King's popular novel turned movies, Christine, which is about, wait for it, an evil car. And even though Christine didn't have razor-sharp teeth to exact her revenge, in the world of the new It, It's possible that Christine or a similar evil car character would have been popular since both the novel and original Christine movie came out in 1983. For number 5, that giant Paul Bunyan statue in the Derry Town Square does more than just stand there and look beardy in the novel. It actually comes to life and chases Richie down the street. And what's even more terrifying is that the Lumberjack Monument is based on an actual statue in the town of Bangor, Maine. Now, the real-life homage to Paul Bunyan is there in Bangor because the town claims to be his birthplace. And finally, speaking of historical references, we got yet another in-world reference that harkens back to a doubly disturbing death in the novel. Just before deeply troubled bully Patrick Hockstetter finally gets it, he sees a red balloon which reads, "I heart Derry." Now that balloon and its small town pride slogan are actually featured heavily in the opening of the book when, in present day, a gay man is attacked by a group of thugs at the Derry Town Festival. The attack, of course, is revealed to be one of the first actions of a new awakening, which eventually gets the Losers Club to reassemble and make good on their promise to return to Derry to finish the job that they started 27 years ago. So maybe expect to see that balloon again when It Chapter 2 comes to theaters sometime in the next few years. But what do you folks think? What Easter eggs did you find? Are you excited for It Chapter 2? And would you really have a conversation with a clown living in a storm drain? Let's discuss. Are you someone who believes that the government is hiding the truth about aliens, Sasquatch, and the Chupacabra? Do you find yourself scouring for more coverage on offbeat crimes and the paranormal? If so, you need to watch Bizarre States. It's our weekly show where yours truly, along with Andrew Bowser, dig into the deep recesses of the strange and dissect what we find. You can catch us every Wednesday on YouTube and Alpha at 4 p.m. Pacific. Be sure to like and subscribe and keep checking Nerdist.com.